Thousands gather to say no to the NAFTA trade deal with a month to go before the vote. And what happened behind the handshake that united two men after years of conflict?
This is NBC Nightly News, reported by Brian Williams.
Good evening. It would create the largest free trade zone on Earth, uniting three nations with a combined output of $6 trillion. It is NAFTA. And just days after President Clinton launched the White House push to get it passed, thousands gathered today in Michigan to hear from the man who is trying to push it right back, Ross Perot. Our coverage begins tonight with NBC's Dawn Fratangelo.
We must take America back.
The anti-NAFTA movement today centered in the state that symbolizes the lifeblood of the American workforce, Michigan. In the capital of Lansing, it was a labor party. Auto workers, union leaders, and environmentalists hope to enlist enough power to derail the agreement.
People in the union is shrinking because they're losing their jobs. And that's another thing. If we lose these jobs, then the union, it's going to go.
Nearly 3,000 turned out, concerned about their jobs and prospects for the future generation of workers. Max Hassett brought his grandchildren.
These kids have got to understand that we've got to get out, we've got to vote, and we've got to support the people that are good for our country.
We're going to take our jobs to Mexico, and there ain't going to be any jobs for us here.
We've lost tens of thousands of jobs already from Michigan. Ford, Chrysler, and GM have already established over 70 plants in Mexico.
They have the support of Democratic Senator Don Riegel, who invited the man who's become a nemesis for the White House on this issue, Ross Perot.
Money is going to chase cheap labor. That's as simple as the law of gravity. Is it right to move your jobs to Mexico where people live in poverty? They got it. All right.
Defeating NAFTA is a top priority for organized labor, which has already launched this television ad campaign.
Economists who've studied job loss say we'll lose up to 500,000 American jobs to NAFTA.
During the presidential campaign, this was Clinton country. Union members backed his campaign of change. Now they believe he's had a change of heart about their jobs.
I beat the street night and day for President Clinton, and I can't believe he lost touch with reality that quick.
The AFL-CIO is vowing to spend whatever it takes to defeat NAFTA. Labor wants to save jobs and regain some of the political clout it's lost. Dawn Fratangelo, NBC News, Lansing, Michigan.
Even NAFTA supporters admit that cheap labor costs in Mexico are pretty attractive to American business. But they point to an example of what American workers can do to neutralize that advantage. Here's NBC's Jeff Madrick.
In April 1990, the AT&T workers at this consumer repair center in Atlanta got a wake-up call. They were given 18 months to either cut costs or be shut down. The problem? Competition from plants across the border, like this one in Reynosa, Mexico. AT&T began shipping repair work outside the country in the 1980s to save money. But instead of giving up, the workers in Atlanta took the challenge. By speeding up production, reducing inventories, and minimizing defects, they made their plant more cost-effective. Last year, they took work away from the plant in Mexico, even though they earn nearly $16 an hour, while the Mexican workers earn only about $1 an hour. The key was unprecedented cooperation between management and the union.
There was no chance of success if we maintained an adversarial relationship.
Chris Cole became the center's manager in 1991.
Everything was fair game. We looked at every process. We asked ourselves how we could improve it, perhaps how we could eliminate it. Whatever we could do to make the process better, we did.
Production line operations were made more flexible to allow workers to shift quickly from product to product.
We're constantly changing, and on a daily basis sometimes. We have changed as many as 4 times a day.
Atlanta now does in 2 days what often takes 2 weeks in Mexico.
It seems we're all working together. We're wanting to stay here to keep the Atlanta Service Center open.
Because if we don't work together, we're doomed.
Whether or not NAFTA becomes law, worldwide competition will only become more intense. Just last month, the Atlanta Center won a contract to assemble AT&T's Princess telephones. It's the first consumer telephone assembly done in America by AT&T in 10 years. Jeff Madrick, NBC News, Atlanta.
Overseas now, more trouble in Somalia today as 34 Somalis and one U.S. soldier were wounded when mortars landed near a hospital and the UN compound there in Mogadishu. The bloodshed comes amid Pentagon confirmation of an NBC News report that more American troops, as many as 40 men, will go to Somalia next week to remove landmines. Concern about the mission in Somalia is growing, and with us from Washington tonight is Admiral Jonathan Howe, UN Special Envoy to Somalia. Admiral Howe, let's begin by hearing once again the defense of the need for more troops, because as you know, when many Americans hear just 40 soldiers going over, they think, because of Vietnam, things like quagmire.
Well, as you know, in Somalia right now, we have 30 nations contributing troops. What I'm asking for, and the Secretary General is supporting, is an additional brigade of some nationality willing to go into Mogadishu and help us restore law and order, stop these attacks, and get on with the disarmament of the city, which is a sea of weapons.
You've been asked many times, I know, about a timetable, and if you're asking for more troops, how do you answer the question, for how long?
Well, the sooner we get them, the faster we'll get on our 2-year track. We would hope to be reducing troops well before the 2 years are over, as the police force and the justice system are established and the Somalis establish law and order in their own hands.
Speaking of law and order, did you expect things still to be this violent? And the second part of that would be, when we do find a deed, providing we find the alleged warlord, will things improve?
Yes, I think they will. I think it is a shortcut to the solution and to getting back on track. And I don't think that we can allow the tyranny of a few, Adid and his followers, to disrupt the whole country. And the country is moving along well, and his moving into the legal system or legal process to answer for his crimes against United Nations peacekeepers will be a wonderful example for others who might want to obstruct the United Nations.
Admiral Jonathan Howe, UN Special Envoy from Washington tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
When Nightly News continues this Saturday evening, behind the scenes at Monday's White House ceremony, it could have been a lot different. And on Focus tonight, how healthy employees make for happy employers.
You know, there's nothing more fun than a vacation at sea. You can lounge in the fresh air, visit romantic ports, enjoy fine dining, great shows, pampered service. I love it here. There's so much to do.
Holly, Hal, hi, Kathy.
Hi, Richard. What are you doing here?
Having the time of my life.
Oh.
If my friends can't see me now.
Take a 3, 4, or 7-day vacation on Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
I love this ship.
To help relieve her heartburn, Original Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. But his antacid is Tums, and Tums has calcium.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Why is Tux Medicated Pads the brand of hemorrhoid relief hospitals trust most? Because when hemorrhoids flare up, Tux provides soothing, cooling relief on contact. Tux, the brand hospitals trust most.
So many ceasefires have been broken in Bosnia, it was easy to be cynical about the one scheduled for noon today. But with a peace accord set to be signed Tuesday in Sarajevo, there was hope this time that the guns really would fall silent. But sadly, the cynics were right again. Noon came, and instead of stopping the fighting intensified in central Bosnia. In Mostar, 3 UN peacekeepers were wounded in new attacks on the city, and Bosnia's president now says it is unlikely any peace accord will be signed on Tuesday. In the Middle East tonight, continued signs that not everybody is on board in support of that new peace plan. There was a rally against it in Gaza. Fundamentalist groups urged Palestinians today to fight the pact, and Iran said it would still support violence against the State of Israel. Overall, however, prospects remain bright, especially in the West Bank city that will soon be the center of the peace process. NBC's Paul Miller reports.
Jericho looks more like a sleepy oasis town than it did earlier in the week when people celebrated its new role as a center of Palestinian self-rule. Today, the streets are calm. Stores have reopened because the Intifada has died down, and suddenly there are customers, curious Palestinians, and even a few Israelis.
They are coming to see the new Jericho because Jericho has taken new dimension. Jericho is a city of peace.
Rajai Abdo runs Jericho's only hotel. Like most of the town, it needs some repair. Jericho needs more housing and better electricity and water. So far, there are few signs of a government to deal with the problems. People here admit Jericho is not yet ready to be the capital of any kind of government. Decisions are being made by Palestinian leaders elsewhere. Everyone here can only celebrate and wait. While they're waiting, the value of their land is increasing as speculators try to get a piece of the action. There are rumors about which house Yasser Arafat wants, this one in town or this one nearer the river. People aren't selling because they expect values to keep rising. Mike Jawari thinks the speculation and the celebration are a bit premature.
These people who are dancing in the street, they are out of jobs. Why are they dancing for?
The agreement on self-rule has had no impact yet on unemployment estimated at 60% or other problems, and some wonder if Jericho will be an oasis of independence or just a mirage. Paul Miller, NBC News, Jericho.
The agreement between Israel and the Palestinians produced an indelible moment this week. It was the handshake, the greeting exchanged by Rabin and Arafat, the two former warriors, on the South Lawn of the White House on Monday. It was dramatic, but there is an intriguing story about what might have been. Sources tell us Arafat had even more dramatic plans for the event. The PLO chairman actually suggested that he wear his trademark pistol to the signing and that he ceremoniously remove the gun and hand it to President Clinton as a gesture of peace. The idea, we're told, was quickly shot down by the White House. As for Rabin, we're told he made his feelings clear before the ceremony about anything beyond a handshake. The Israeli leader said he, quote, didn't want to do any of that kissing. Some important visitors from South Africa will be in this country next week. President F.W. de Klerk and black leader Nelson Mandela. Mandela is expected to ask that economic sanctions against South Africa be lifted now that real change is taking place there. But as NBC's Tom Pettit reports tonight, turning the money pipeline back on won't be easy.
At the September trade show in Johannesburg, Nelson Mandela recruiting business for South Africa as multiracial government moves closer.
South Africa's appointment with destiny is firmly on course.
But ending sanctions by hundreds of U.S. local and state governments and by big institutional investors will take time. Any link to South Africa is prohibited by 30 states and by more than 100 municipalities, New York to Los Angeles, Chicago to Atlanta, where by city ordinance, if you do business with South Africa, you cannot sell in Atlanta.
And it was our way of joining other cities of conscience in protesting their actions.
Despite the continuing violence in South Africa, more than 1,000 dead in the last 3 months, 10,000 in the last 3 years, Randall Robinson, the leading exponent of the boycott, thinks it should be lifted when Mandela asks.
It's going to be difficult. There will be some unpleasantness. There will be some violence. It should be anticipated.
The boycott was a powerful factor in getting rid of legalized apartheid. But after 6 years, South Africa is hurting, and it desperately needs foreign capital to revive its economy with its heavy unemployment, up to 45% of blacks, about 8% of whites. Already, some American firms are selling in the South African market, but through subterfuge.
You can have your product known in the country, you can make money off of it, but someone else, a local South African, is actually manufacturing it and taking the risk to build it.
President Clinton can remove all American opposition to international loans to South Africa, but about all those state and local boycotts, he can do nothing. Tom Pettit, NBC News, at the White House.
When Nightly News continues, we will tell you about companies that save on health care by spending on health clubs.
I really didn't want my husband to color his gray hair.
But then I discovered this, the hair coloring called Just for Men.
And now he looks better than ever.
Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes rinse. Just for Men blends away the gray for a totally natural look. No wonder 8 out of 10 women prefer the Just for Men look to the gray look.
It's like you took off 10 years.
And in just 5 minutes.
Just for Men. She'll love the way you look.
Anna wants me to try something I've never tasted before.
It's the Kellogg's Mueslix.
Don't you just love the way she talks?
The taste of the Kellogg's Mueslix cereal is very surprising.
Hey, this is very surprising.
It's got plump raisins.
They are plump.
The flakes very crispy in the Kellogg's Muesli.
It's crispy.
the crunchy almonds, the brown sugar, and the yummy dates.
It's yummy. Surprise yourself with the fabulous taste of Kellogg's Mueslix.
No. Kellogg's Mueslix. Efferdent users, what would get you to switch to new Denture Cream?
If it got my dentures cleaner.
Denture Cream cleans twice as clean as Efferdent.
If it got them fresher.
Now Denture Cream is even mintier.
Cleaner.
Fresher.
Better. Switch to new Denture Cream.
Oh, guys, my commercial.
Listen, Wheat Thins pack a ton of hearty taste into a snack that's smart to eat.
See?
The smart little snack that's big on taste.
You're deliciously correct, oh maternal one. Zap!
Sunday morning on Today, Michael bolted. He's got something new to sing about.
Also, we'll have an Emmy Awards preview. Join us Sunday morning.
And see what a difference today makes.
In focus tonight, healthcare in America and why we should look for more gyms on the job. The federal government is telling companies that paying for their employees' fitness now can save billions of dollars later. We get more from NBC's Kenley Jones.
These employees at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta are doing just what the doctors here have ordered.
Increased levels of activity or regular physical activity is related to the prevention of premature heart disease.
A new study by the centers says 30 minutes of moderate exercise 5 times a week will dramatically lower the risk of heart disease. Still the nation's #1 killer, claiming 500,000 deaths per year.
Coronary heart disease alone costs in excess of $47 billion a year.
The study estimates that $5.7 billion of that is spent on patients who could have avoided the disease if they had exercised. It points out that healthcare costs have been dramatically reduced for companies that provide fitness programs for their employees. One of those is Coca-Cola.
We did find that employees that participate in our fitness center have less healthcare costs, something like $535 a year less.
That adds up to a saving of $1.2 million a year at Coke's headquarters in Atlanta alone. Giving employees the opportunity to work out and improve their health at the workplace provides another benefit.
If they're healthier, we know they're going to work better, their productivity is going to be up, they're going to be absent a lot less.
At the Home Depot building supply chain, employees are encouraged to participate in the company's wellness program.
Aerobic classes, exercise classes, stop smoking, Weight Watchers classes, a lot of different kinds of things.
At Toil Bowles uses the fitness room at company headquarters.
It's very convenient, and you can come down here during lunch instead of pigging out.
Karen Rawson spends her lunch hour there too.
I get rid of stress, tons of stress, and it's just helped me to cope with everything and to be the best mother, to be the best employee I can be.
Many employees now consider fitness programs an important fringe benefit, and the companies that provide them are finding they not only save money, but win the appreciation and loyalty of employees as well. Kenley Jones, NBC News, Atlanta.
The health revolution will be the subject of a special week of reports on NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw beginning on Monday. A look at what the proposals will mean to you. And next, America's homeless, helping them to help themselves.
I've been thinking about buying an American car. The GM MasterCard was a tremendous incentive. 5% on every purchase really adds up. I work hard at my job.
You've got to make every dollar count. I love my kids.
My wife and I are going to be the biggest influence in their lives. The 5% I earned with the GM card definitely saved me money when I leased my Pontiac Grand Am.
Being a father changes your priorities.
The GM card with no annual fee. To apply, call 1-800-8GM-CARD.
It's a race against time to get enough calcium because kids grow 95% of all the bone they'll ever have before they're 18. Sunny Delight Plus Calcium with Fruit Cal, a calcium source clinically proven to help build stronger bones in children. Fruit Cal is highly absorbable, 30% more than the calcium in milk, so it's a great source of calcium in addition to milk. Sunny Delight Plus Calcium, the good stuff kids are built on.
Want a really nutritious cereal? You should be eating Kellogg's Complete Bran Flakes.
The usual, please.
Complete Bran Flakes has twice the fiber of that cereal
I'll try that one.
Kellogg's Complete Bran Flakes has twice the vitamins and minerals. The only one with high fiber plus 14 vitamins and minerals, including beta-carotene.
I'll have Complete Bran Flakes.
High fiber plus vitamins and minerals. Kellogg's Complete Bran Flakes.
So if I call my friend Susan the most, they pay half?
Sprint announces yet another reason to switch to the most.
Because sometimes I call her for absolutely no reason and we talk for hours about nothing at all.
Talk all you want. Sprint will split the bill on the person you call most.
Wow, now we can talk even longer about nothing.
Kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Call now and save 50% with Sprint's calling plan, The Most.
Tonight, the Miss America pageant becomes Miss America Night. First, go behind the scenes. See the tragedies and triumphs of the pageant's untold stories. And take a sneak preview of the mommies and Valerie Bertinelli in Cafe Americaine. Then the Miss America pageant unveils a whole new look you'll have to see to believe. Miss America Night, NBC tonight.
Tonight, an important change in Cuban-American relations. For the first time, Cuba has turned over drug suspects to the U.S. prosecutors. 2 Cuban Americans were flown to Miami from Havana and taken into custody by drug enforcement officials. They had been held in Cuban jails for the last month. The homeless. Estimates put their number in America to as high as 700,000. But now there are new programs using old-fashioned solutions. Here's NBC's Jim Maceda.
Skid Row, Los Angeles. A few city blocks of despair where homelessness has become a way of life. Over 1/4 of Skid Row's 12,000 inhabitants lives in the streets.
Out in the streets is rough. I'll say it's rough.
But a handful, like John Henry, once again have roofs over their heads and are gainfully employed, thanks to Skid Row Access, a project that taps the creativity of the down and out. Henry makes beads from recycled wood.
I got to making those beads, and I could keep a little money in my pocket.
The shop provides equipment and materials. The homeless make the products, sell them, and keep 70 cents on the dollar. The rest goes back into the enterprise. Project director Chuck McLean says the idea came from the homeless.
There's something about treating people with respect and trusting other people that is the atmosphere of our whole organization.
The Skid Row project in Los Angeles is only a start, but it's not alone. Throughout the country, private organizations are emerging with people who are trying to help the homeless help themselves. Getting the homeless out of Washington, D.C.'s shelters and into the fields of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, where, along with inner-city kids, they learn to grow their own food and make a living, selling their produce in Washington's farmers' markets.
Street lights. It's a new paper that's open for the homeless.
In San Francisco, Felton Thomas sells a newspaper by the homeless about the homeless, which he is no longer.
It sells for $1 to a copy. They keep the dollar, the entire dollar. So it gives them a job. And we have people right now that are paying their rent with this paper.
Right now, we could take you to make money. Right now, put money in your pocket within the next hour.
Let's do it.
Similar papers are working in New York City and elsewhere. As the figures on homeless nationwide continue to rise, a small but growing number are turning to themselves for help. Jim Maceda, NBC News, Los Angeles.
When Nightly News continues, Miss America is 73 tonight, and she'll debut with a new do.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Grab the gang and head on down to a swinging lobster party. It's the talk of the town. Hey, tails, how you dip 'em?
Red Lobster.
How you love 'em? You don't need brass bands. Oh, you have fun just using your hands.
New combinations like you've never had before, all at special prices.
The lobster's just the best at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
The party's over in a few weeks,
so don't miss it. Red Lobster's Lobster Fest. She likes milk and it shows. She's got great muscle tone. She likes milk and it shows. Strong, healthy bones. He likes milk and it shows. Baby, soft skin, bright eyes, a healthy grin. He likes milk and it shows.
Milk does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle. When you drink milk, it shows.
She likes milk and it shows. It does a body good.
More tea, Daddy?
Sure, honey. Fill her up.
A short while ago, Mike Ward had a headache, but he couldn't postpone his tea party with one of the town's best hostesses, so he took a Motrin IB. The same medicine as in the Motrin doctors have prescribed for years, but in non-prescription strength. And now that his headache's gone, he can concentrate on the things that really matter.
Good tea, huh, Daddy?
It's excellent tea, Becky. Excellent.
Motrin IB, the relief of Motrin in non-prescription strength.
Day after day, you make those glasses of thick Metamucil disappear. Why not make them all disappear with FiberCon? Doctor-recommended FiberCon gives you the same fiber regularity in tablets.
Easy to swallow tablets.
Get doctor-recommended FiberCon.
Sunday, what next for the administration? Tough problems, free trade and health care. How are they tackling them? We'll ask Senator Moynihan and David Gergen on Meet the Press with Tim Russert Sunday.
Tonight's the night they'll crown the 73rd Miss America in Atlantic City. And though the pageant hasn't exactly kept up with the times, a new rule this year will make for a new look on stage and some frantic grooming backstage. As Mary Alice Williams reports, it's a do-it-yourself night.
If there's a symbol of Miss America, it is this. Well, the land of Texas-sized hair nests tonight has exiled hairdressers. Trivial? Not to the Miss America organization, out to solve a credibility problem.
I need the scholarship money.
Well, it is hard to believe it's a scholarship program and not a beauty contest when what Americans have seen looks like a parade of professional preeners contoured by duct tape with the mental agility of Barbie dolls. In fact, it is the largest scholarship program for young women in America. These 50 women will share $177,000, which, given the cost of entering the pageant and getting through college, is not insignificant. But the rest, $18 million, will go to local and state organizations, universities, medical schools, thousands of people who would never dream of strutting an hour on this stage. So last year, Hollywood producer Jeff Margolis was brought in to update a tradition growing moldy. He got to know the contestants as bright, talented, all-American girls. Then came showtime.
I didn't recognize any of them. They all came out wearing gowns that I was certain none of them would ever wear out of their own homes. And they all came out in these hairstyles. There were like 2 or 3 different hairstyles, and they all, they just looked the same to me.
So he ordered this year's beauties to bring gowns they'd wear back home. Some still like those sequins. Then he brought in hairdresser Mark Garrison to run a self-grooming seminar.
I would have loved to have remade every one of them, I can tell you that, but it's not a good time to do that close to something that they're used to, working with a hair in a certain way.
Many of tonight's contestants have grown up in the pageant culture, coached on the tactics that guaranteed tiaras. And some may not be able to break the hair helmet habit, but the beauty industry is hopeful.
So it changes the whole notion of beauty. They're trying to make these women look more like ordinary women, and I think that's a really good trend. I think that's certainly what's going on in fashion right now.
What's going on in Atlantic City right now is butterflies, and by the time the new Miss America takes that final walk, you may be convinced that a sparkling crown sure can take the curse off a bad hair day. Mary Alice Williams, NBC News, Atlantic City.
That's Nightly News for this Saturday. I'm Brian Williams. For all of us here at NBC News, good night.